Hello everyone, today I'm working on this nice F7. You know, I changed my mind on these. The F7 or F3 is usually the first engine you get when you get a starter set. And I used to not like them. The reason why they use them for starter set, it's obvious they don't have handrails, so nothing to break. I used to not like them because they were easy to get, but now I just love them. So this little guy looks like it's in really good shape. It's got the two horns, the number boards, all the couplers are there. So it just needs a good cleaning, and it's not even that dirty to begin with. So the way to get to these shells, there's tabs that hold it with the side windows. So you just need 4 toothpicks to get this out. I only have 3 toothpicks on my workstation, so I'll use the 3 toothpicks and a screwdriver. So all you gotta do is spread out the sides here, close to the toothpicks, and then the frame should just drop. This is the new style. It has the new style drive. Oh, you know what I forgot that's important? First, you have to remove the front coupler. And that front coupler, it can be a pain. It's easy to remove it, but it's a pain to put it back. So all you gotta do is push the tabs here very carefully. There's 2 tabs on each side at the bottom, and it'll come out. Just so you can have a better look, it's just these 2 tabs here. So you can carefully remove that retainer, and then you can remove the front coupler. Then once you have your couplers on, then you can just use gravity as your friend. Once you have your toothpicks in there, use gravity as your friend, and this should just pop out. Nice and easy. Then that's it. I'll show you what the inside windows do. See my inside windows stuck there. But all they do is they sit in the frame like this, and then they clip it in place. Very cool stuff actually. Kato, they have a nice solution. Oh, this is the old drive. Well, that's funny. It's the old drive, but it's got the new style trucks. Isn't that something? At any rate, these run very well. That's a very nice engine to get. So it's a split frame, so we have to remove the front coupler box, and there's a little retainer here for the headlight. You just pry this up, it'll come right out, and then you can take your Phillips screwdriver, and there's two screws. Once you have these out, you can split the frame and then take a very good look at what's inside. And the trucks, they have an arrow, so it becomes very simple putting them back. Also, don't forget to remove the gas tank. Just 2 little clips. It's not very hard to remove this. So the trucks just fall out. And you can take a look at what's inside. It's not going to be a very long video because this one actually looks very, very good. And I'm just going to put just a little lubrication in here, and that should be it. While you put it back together though, you have to be careful, these retainers here, if they're not exactly where they go, that could make a little bit more than it should. It'll make a little bit more noise than it should. My shell, it looks awesome. I'm just gonna clean it with some dish soap and my toothbrush. If everything looks good, I'm just gonna give it just a drop of oil. Just one drop, that should be enough. And then every side. That's all you need, you don't need a lot. I like to do that because I buy my engines used. Every time I get a new engine, I will take it apart and check it out. And while I have it apart, I may as well lubricate it. Makes sense? So I always do, and I especially like cleaning the wheels because cleaning the wheels allows it to have optimal performance. Don't you hate it when your engine stalls? So what I do is I clean the wheels very well. 9 out of 10 times when you have a problem with a locomotive stalling, it's the wheels are dirty. Also, your track has to be clean, but that is for another video. Actually, you know, wow, this is really nice. Wouldn't even really need to clean this. But since I have it in my hands, I'm gonna finish. So I remember being a kid, getting your first starter set, and after some time it would do that, it would stall. So you have to go out and clean everything. Well, that takes patience, but you are rewarded with optimal performance. So yeah, keeping your track clean is important. I don't know if you realize, but the tracks are made out of nickel and silver and alloy, and that is good for if it oxidates, that oxide, nickel and silver can conduct electricity. So it'll keep your engine from stalling. So the people that make trains are smart. The wheels are also nickel silver. I don't know if you knew, but that too prevents them from stalling. I have an old Tyco engine that has brass wheels, and back in those days the tracks were also brass. That was cost effective, and that Tyco engine is probably 40 years old and it still runs, but it has to be cleaned often. That's the way it goes. What a good looking machine. I really like those Blumberg trucks. The F7, I used to hate them. Now I love them. I got my hands on some videos that showed them in action back in the day, and it's such a good looking engine. Also, I don't know if you knew it, but the FT, the predecessor to the F3 and F7, that was the reason that railroad companies stopped ordering steam engines. Because at first, the diesels, they were almost considered toys. They would only use them for switching. But as they were doing that, they noticed that they were very reliable and easy to maintain. But also, they weren't very powerful. They still had the big 484s and articulated engines, which means they could run bigger trains with those bigger steam engines. But as the FT came out, it came out in sets of 2 and in sets of 4. So they were demonstrated like that in sets of 4. If you have 4 diesels, it's every bit as powerful as one of those big steam engines. So those two things together, the fact that they could be multiple units, that they were powerful and cheap to maintain, that's the locomotive that ended the steam engines. So we're almost done with that. Check it to make sure that it's running well. Oh, that's amazing. That is going to be amazing. So I'll do the other side off camera. Now I'm ready to put everything back together. When you're putting it back together, look out for these insulators here. I got that one here and that one there. That's very important. And my little circuit board, it didn't move, so I just left it there. I don't have to do any changes to that. And also those two cradles, they have to be lined up properly. So they should be easy to line up, but just make sure that they are. So now that I've got that, I'm going to bring my screws in, but I won't tighten them. So I only start them because it gives me a little slack to bring in my trucks. So the back one, obviously the coupler goes out. That's not very hard to figure out. And then for the front one, the arrow will go to the front. And then once I have that in, I can tighten it. I'm also going to take a minute and I'll bench test it. I don't foresee any problems. And then I'll test it on the track before putting the shell on. Actually, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to put the shell back on because I'm so confident. Listen to that, it's so cool. So I'm ready to put my shell back on. Don't forget, you're going to need that little shield and the gas tank. The gas tank, it's got a big tab and a small tab, so there's only one way it can go. That makes it easy. And then this is the part that holds the coupler. If you're building a B unit, you don't need this part. The shell will fit right up, so you don't need it. Boy, that's really shaping up. So as I put my shell back, I want to line up my windows properly. These have little tabs on the top where they go. So there's no glue. All of Kato's engines, there's no glue, which is nice because if you want to get back in there, make some changes, you don't need to wrestle with the glue, and you can recycle the parts over and over again. And then I have to put my little coupler, which I'll do off camera. That will save you from all the swearing. There's no way to sugarcoat this. It is hard to do. But once it's done, you can be happy. And now it's time to run some trains. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon.